people that don't have a disability together enjoying the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities. MKE Now dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical, the deaf and hard of hearing, blindness, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own or with people we know or with people we encounter in our everyday lives. MKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate the ability in all of us. I am so excited. The wonderful guests that we have joining us tonight. This is going to be a very fun evening. I am going to go ahead right away and bring in Emily Gollmer to go ahead and do our first introduction. So Emily, over to you.
So our first person is in Las Vegas and is a financial representative, financial agent with New York Life. Edgar, come in. You are what you do.
So like Emily said, my name is Edgar Garcia. I am in the financial services industry with New York Life. They're the main people I partner with. I'm on today because I do help a lot of people kind of protect themselves or protecting their loved ones along long-term care and disability insurances. You know, not everyone is born with disability. Sometimes it is developed or happened through, injury or work accident. My job is to make sure that people have the proper coverages so that they can have that, take care of themselves and take care of loved ones along that end. I also do work with a nonprofit that helps with other things as well. The nonprofit does include with disabilities. It just happens to be a nonprofit that helps mostly children that have been abused. They pretty much do room transformation for them. And if you guys need any more info on that, you can always find me at Edgar Warren Garcia on Facebook. You can always contact me there. That's the easiest way to find me.
But such an interesting nonprofit that you work with there. That is a unique one. I like that a lot. So how did you get all started with what you do?
So long story short, so I'll try to keep it a little short. I grew up where people don't really have much education on how to not only take care of themselves financially, but also just have the literacy to really go and look for people or look for other options for retirement, maybe protection of assets, also protection of the loved ones. I mostly grew up in areas where people use GoFundMes to try to help pay to bury loved ones and things like that. That's initially what I was kind of focused on, getting into particular market. Hispanics out in Las Vegas, Nevada, because there's a large amount of Hispanics here. Most of those people don't have the options, or a lot of those people don't have those options. But as I moved into my career, I started moving into a little bit more just wanting to generally help as many people as I can. And with the type of certifications and license I have, I can do a wide array of things. And I just want to put myself in as many situations, people, and just educate. I think that's my favorite. If anyone has any questions, if I have just a bit of knowledge that they may not have, I'm always happy to talk someone's ear off. But initially, what first got me into it is just wanting to help and educate them.
That's awesome. There's so much, and a lot of times people don't know. So to have the background that you have to be able to help in so many different ways with that makes such a difference. So, well, I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation. I do want to bring Emily back in because we do have another guest joining us as well. So if we can, if Emily, you want to go ahead and introduce our other guest, that would be lovely.
So other guest is out of Utah, who is a parenting coach, and has her own podcast, and is helping parents raise their kids and better than they what they had going on. Right, Wanda? Gonna say a little more about who you are, what you do.
Yep, my name is Wanda. I'm coach for parents who have lived through trauma and they have, if they want to raise their kids differently, but they don't know that they are raising things to look for. How they're doing so many. I just wondering, doing what I can, but know what to look for and be able to raise emotionally healthy, confident, driven kids without that agonizing uncertainty and without waiting till they have gone full entire years of being healing of their own and while they're doing help their kids along the way too.
I love that. That is a very unique piece. I think sometimes that's something that I think kind of gets lost this very often, and how true though. If you've had some adverse experiences as a kid, how do you know confidently how to raise your own? Oh my gosh, I love what you do. This is that's beautiful. Do you have any particular? I mean, I'm thinking with both stories that you might be able to share of people that first. If you have any not stories, so stories tell big things. So if you want to go ahead, if you have any in mind.
Yeah. So always the first story that comes to mind is my own. Along the way, the experiences, changes, that exciting that they were just running into the same rut over and over, and for like parenting, and then within 2-3 months of working with me, they're like, holy cows are gone. The anxiety is wondering if I'm doing enough. I know what to look for now, and my kids are happier and I'm happier. So there's lots there, but I think a little bit the reason I do what I do is because I went through it too. And when I first became a mom, I kind of at that point still believed that my upbringing, everybody else was supposed to, that I was the problem, that I the anomaly in the universe that wasn't supposed to happen. And I just had a lot of self-loathing, a lot of just beliefs that I didn't believe that I would ever be good enough in anything. And now I was holding this beautiful little baby, and when I held her in my arms for the first time, I just remember looking at him like, holy cow, I would never say, do, treat this amazing individual like I was treated as a kid. But how do I do things differently? Just making meals looks like, or interacting around the house, or like what do conversations look like outside of what I experienced 2 decades of my life? Like how does things just function differently? And it was very nerve-wracking. Every day that I was doing things differently felt like I was going against her because I was in such a different environment. And so as I knew though, I thought that I had a support system in my parents and my siblings and aunts and uncles. I thought that I had a huge variety of people in my support system. But as I continued to grow and develop and to realize how much I needed to do, people started just leaving and disowning me, and I eventually realized like I was completely alone. And that was really hard to rely on my husband and his family. And there's so many dynamics when you are raised through trauma and abuse, and that it's hard to know how to just keep a straight course. So I just kept putting the pieces together that God was showing me and kept founding myself on truth. Pieces started coming exponentially and fast. And as that started happening, even though I had no support system, I had no idea what I was doing, I started getting happier. My suicide went away, my depression went away, anxiety started getting better. Like every everything within weeks. And I had struggled with this stuff over 2 decades and gone to therapy and doing pills and all things that the experts were telling me to do, but nothing was making it better until what I teach, parenting, helping people know how to move, because that was the biggest gap for me. Is going to therapy was great as far as learning about the past together, but it did nothing for helping me have tools to move forward into a future differently than what I had experienced. So
thank you for sharing your story. That's amazing. And it's going to that place of there are so many people that can relate to what you're saying and similar experiences, and in turn don't know, again, how do you know what should I be doing here? Your version of normal is all you know, and we all need to grow in so many different ways, and this is a very particular way that, right? So I'm so glad to do what you do, that you're able to help others, that you can lean on the experience that you've had, and you found a way through from what your experience has been. So thank you for sharing with us. And Ed, I'm going to pass the baton over to you. Do you have any particular story that's in your mind that you'd like to share?
Not necessarily. That's going to be very hard to follow there with Wanda. That was an amazing story. Definitely beautiful to show when you put your first foot forward and you're really helping people. You know, you get put in the proper situations sometimes, and you know, even if it's just one, you end up really being helpful to not just yourself but to other people. You really go out there and you want to take care of people, and that's essentially what I like to do. You know, there's no particular story I can give you. A lot of them, luckily for me, I guess I can say, have been pretty normal. I haven't had to deal with a lot of scary situations or a lot of very stories or anything until maybe I started working with a little bit more of that nonprofit. You do start to hear stories of some of the children, you know, and the type of situations they're in, and even they're in a bad one, for some way how they get taught or tricked into thinking that going back to a home or going back under foster care or going back somewhere else is somehow worse than the situation they're already in. But I would say for now, most of the stories that I have for myself are nothing crazy, and I personally wouldn't want to really share those stories with the children. It's not my play. But you know, one day maybe later on in the future, someone will come out and talk about how just a little bit of work we did really helped them recover in a way, which is all we do really is people that want to truly help those children. And what we do is we go in and we pretty much just, you know, remodel their bedroom. So when they go in, triggers, there's no things left behind that'll really feel terrible, you know, which is great work. And, you know, the financial services industry, you know, I think maybe the main story I would want to share is just helping a lot of my own family. No one had any idea of what they could do or what they have, and the type of protections that can be put in place for each other. What's funny is my mom's, she's been a nurse for over 30 years, and she didn't even know there's a lot of options for people out there to help pay for these type of missions and help pay for these type of treatments that they need, you know, in-home health and things like that. And, you know, it's just purely education is really makes me happy. And again, I just want to put my and just say, hey, you know, I'm a source of information to a degree. If anyone has questions, I would love to say. You don't really, if you're not asking to help people, you really can't help anyone, right? And then at the end of it, like you said, people don't know what they don't know, and I sure enough didn't know a lot of these things until I started putting myself in speaking with people, going to different events and things like that. And you know, I just love being out and about, and I just want to make people like can and make sure that, you know, they learn what they need to learn.
Awesome. One thing I hear very clearly with both of you is the passion to share, that you care, and that you're out there trying to make a difference with people around you. And that's one thing I actually feel very blessed with this show, as we're all the people I've had the pleasure of meeting, that there is a very common theme amongst everybody of how big their hearts are and how much they are willing to give of themselves to help the people around them. Absolutely love it. And I appreciate what both of you are bringing here. So actually, what you were saying with the nonprofit does, Edgar, it actually is making me think of a question that for you, Wanda, that if you would have had something, or if you know people that have been kind of a situation that where you'd be able to have your bedroom like that, I'm just picturing how much of a difference that really can for somebody's mental space when they're surrounding adjusted like that. I wonder if you had any thoughts about that.
Yeah, I love what Edgar is a part of, because definitely the things that come to mind specifically, maybe not even the environment change, but the knowledge that people are there and wanting to help and see that you're worth the effort. Like, that part to me is huge. Like, what a difference that is making in kids' lives, because whether or not the environment itself, whether the bedroom is the trigger or not, knowing that effort in and that those things are coming in because you as a human being, an individual, is worth it, like that piece, I think, can make all the difference. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, just to tell that a little bit, feels great, And again, it's some people may look at it and say, hey, room may not do much, but it could be a world of difference for that child. Remodeling and putting them in a slightly different environment than what they were already. And the way I look at it is, that small step could have been that world of difference for that child, for sure.
Awesome. With a lot of what those that have been on the show before, that are familiar with our show, know our personal history with what we've done with adaptive water skiing, and even with that, sometimes it takes somebody thinking outside the box, because there's so many people that have or whatever your ski, a sit ski from a seated position that allows you to do and take advantage of sport. People that never ever would have thought that was a possibility for them, and once they get out that, that I didn't know about, it is such a great thing to be able to broaden and enhance somebody else's life in that way. And for us, or me personally, as somebody of being the one to participate in that introduction, it is so exciting. It is so much fun to be able to share something that I love like that with the people that, especially that very first time. There's nothing like having somebody behind the boat for the very first and having that experience. One quick story I can share with that too. I was in the boat with the mom of is autistic. Is an individual time I was having with mom while I was in the boat, and she was in tears, taking pictures, so excited because this young man is behind the boat, both arms up in the air and just screaming at the top of his lungs in just pure joy because he was having back there. And she was telling me, just saying, he never gets, this is the only time he is just showing that much absolute joy, is able to be audible and just to express. He doesn't do that in his everyday life. So that's that whole thing of being able to be in a different situation sometimes really can bring out something more and different in a person that is goosebumps when I even talk about that, because it was so meaningful to me that we were able to do that. So I'm just curious
Too, because just feeling alive again and feeling like your identity is your limitations, and feeling just that expression, that is a beautiful story and beautiful experience. to give people. It makes me want to do this sitting down skis because I have a lot of trauma like built up skis, and so long things is still hard for me. And placing with fire skiing, that would be awesome. So
It's a lot of fun. So if we can ever make that happen for you.
awesome. Well, I would love to come out east and visit you guys. That would be incredible.
That would, yeah, we're actually very. We've had one ski demo so this weekend, and we still have 5 dates up this summer. It's going to be full day events, and I don't have the lineup yet, but we're hoping 20 on each day that we can end and share the sets. So it's a fun summer, and I'm in my element once we get to this point in the season. So looking for much. I just want to throw the baton to you guys again to just see what thoughts are on the top of your mind at this. I'll start with you actually. Any specific message that you feel with to do something different and with you?
There's so many ways of conversation, but the main thing in my mind right now is just people wondering what can we do in our lives when we see kids struggling, what is helpful. And the thing that I would really people's minds and to share with people is, one, being normal is a huge help. Like I have so many memories where watching and they were so sure about things, the way things are. That was like, how do you know that? How do you have such confidence? And they were just living their normal life, but that was a huge source of hope. So one, just being normal, but two, truth, and even in the face of or fear of offending somebody is huge for me as a kid. When people would just say, like, be straight out about their boundaries, about they're okay with, or if they saw someone in my family doing something that just raised an eyebrow, look, hey, that wasn't cool, or why did you do that? That they would speak out and just not being super mean or anything, just or invasive, just like, hey, that doesn't make any sense. Why did you say that to her? Or that's not cool. Just little things like that where you just stay sure what you know as a human being, and respect that we should show all human being is huge for a child to see and to realize, wait, there's other ways of doing things, and they can start pieces together and realize that there's more for them.
Edgar, any thoughts that you have on mind right now?
Very much just hearing more about Wanda's profession. It's great. It's hard, even in the spaces that you try to put yourself in. It's very hard to meet people that genuinely care about other people, or actually genuinely care about trying to help them. I would definitely probably love to get together after this and see if you can pass along your information to people that might need your help. But yeah, that's pretty amazing. Like, what I do, my regular, there's out of a dozen, right? Plenty of people in the financial services industries. I think the only thing that really helps me stand out is, I try to put in as much as I would want. I want to take care of people as if they're my, because that's how I would want to be treated. That top of mind, I'm just, to be honest, not to just keep making you be on the light there, Wanda, but it sounds really amazing what you do, and I'm genuinely interested in it. It's very cool, and a lot of people don't do these type of things, or like you were saying earlier, Sue, a lot of people can't always think about the box, and even now, I think you're the first person I've ever been introduced to that actually does particular work on helping parents, with trauma, help their children or through their own trauma, and be parents for themselves and for those children, and maybe even be better wives, better husbands, better family people. I think that's an amazing thing to do. Me help people protect their assets, and protect their bedlines and everything like that is great, but I think what you do is a lot better for sure.
Well, thank you for the shout out, but I would definitely not discredit what you're doing because, like I said, those people doing normal things is a huge help to genuinely care about others and are doing good, not because they had some traumatizing event. Is a huge inspiration and it just helps shift the belief that because you're human too of being. So I love what you're doing. Definitely amazing.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And actually, I'll add what you made a key point, Edgar, with what in my mind, when you're talking to somebody who is going to, you need to really trust the person who's you're talking with, your finances and your future and all that. And if you have somebody who really cares and is genuine, that's a world of difference from a lot of people who are out there in that arena. So it says a lot about your heart and where you are, and that's huge. And Wanda, with what you're doing to help families, and really, in my mind, kind of breaking that cycle of what a person really is and has been, to be able to have it move forward and to really, it's affecting generations to come. That's beautiful. I'm gonna just ask Wanda one more time if you have any other quick stories that you want to share. While you're thinking of that, month we actually do a little fun question for our guests. We've had a tradition of ice cream social night. So I'm just going to ask your favorite ice cream. So I'm going to start that with Edgar. Flavor?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Too many?
See, I have a very big sweet tooth. My wife constantly is always buying cakes and stuff, and I'm the one who mostly eats them, which is bad. But sometimes it's strawberry, sometimes other times it's cookies and cream. I'm bad. I love sweets. I love having brown cakes everywhere all the time. If I had to pick right, I would say this one. My favorite is probably strawberry cheesecake. I love strawberry flavored things, so strawberry cheesecake ice cream. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Sorry, just make you drool right now.
It's all good.
So Wanda, how about you?
I would say my favorite flavor is vanilla, just fruits and like the syrup that turns syrup with the chocolate that's hard. That's my favorite.
Of that.
Yeah. As far as the story, I did have one come. I hope that it gives people hope as well and just disabilities. So my daughter is now 9 years old. And when I was 9, all I was thinking about is just trying to stay alive and trying to be a good human and wishing that I could just be dead, wishing that I was no longer around. And that was the first time that I tried to commit suicide. And now I asked my daughter what she's thinking, what she's going through as a 9-year-old. And I asked her, have you ever had any of these thoughts? Do you ever experience this? And she's like, Mom, why the heck would I ever think those things? And it's just so incredible.
Thank you so much.
Recording stopped.
What?
No, I got him moved. That was beautiful, and oh my gosh, that one, like, oh wow.
I'm sorry too. I was like, I gotta make it before it turned to 9, but
Nope, you're good. Thank you so much. Oh, I see Kurt popping. I'm gonna bring him on down. I'm gonna pop in and say hi. I don't know how much of this you got to hear, Kurt, but they're amazing.
Yeah, I listened to the whole show.
You got to, okay. So, sincerest thanks to both of you. This was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. And you're welcome back anytime. We're here every Wednesday night, same time, same place. So if you have a time that you're able to come back, by all means, you'd be more than welcome to. And so there's other opportunities. We have a couple of them on Saturdays. Emily could connect with that happen during the week as well. So if that's of interest at all, we would absolutely love that.
Yeah, for me, definitely. I told earlier and Emily too that I'm looking to speak more and more and more. So any speaking engagements, I would love to.
Awesome. Perfect.
Yeah, I definitely would like to put more things at the same time. Very fun and very educational. I want to hopefully connect with people who really need her service. I mean, I'm very genuine about that. To have your information, to try to see if there's anyone we can help here about it.
Well, awesome. Here, can I drop the chat for Edgar so we can?
Please. Yeah, that would be great. And actually, if you both want to do that, I will make sure to get links to all this over to you guys and share this out. It's on YouTube right now. I'll share the recording from Zoom, and it's on it'll also be on, sorry, she knows the allergy season or something going, on River West Radio's website, the past shows there as well. So you're more than to share it anywhere you'd like.
Cool. And so with it being a radio show, just the YouTube would be what's shared with other people?
So on the radio website, they use SoundCloud. So on there, it is just the audio.
Okay.
We do the YouTube so that we have the video with obviously that too, and then we can do whatever we want with that. So and basically the exact same show, except I had that extra 30 seconds at the beginning. But yeah, so both of them are. You're welcome to share however you'd like.
Yeah, Sue will send out an email, put the YouTube in the chat if you guys wanted to share it out anytime before in the email or anything like that.
Perfect. Actually, I should ask too, either of you have website links or anything like that you would like shared out? On the air, we can't say, hey, go to my website, but now that we're done, and I'm going to be writing up the description of the show and putting it on the show tab for River West Radio, I can put whatever we want in there. So if you guys have any links, any of that kind of stuff, that's actually perfectly fine to put in there. So just let me know what you'd like me to share.
And just right here, or do you want to?
If you want to just put it in the chat, that's probably the simplest thing. Actually, I'll give you guys my email address too.
I'm currently re-messaging everything, but the best place still is my website, wandahoward.com. So
Perfect.
Kurt, what did you think of the show?
Sorry, what?
I was asking Kurt what he thought of the show.
Well, it seems like we're hanging. With a couple people that are kind of a big deal. So
You didn't already know that. You do now. Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Well, thanks for having us too. This is amazing how many things you have going with different speaking events and podcasts and radios. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little crazy around here, but it's fun.
Yeah, what I shared there with you guys is my direct contact info, and then underneath is the website to that nonprofit organization that I've been talking about.